Hey guys, it's Bertin with OmniFlex here. Today I have another workout vlog for you guys. This workout vlog is part of an upper body speed work day. So if you've seen the other videos, then you'll know that I do upper-lower split with a conjugate program. That means that I have speed work days and I have max effort days. So today is a speed work day. Right now I'm doing the wide grip bench press with bands. I like to do bands for compensatory acceleration reasons. I think I went over that in the last workout vlog. And for my upper body, I like to alternate between wide grip and narrow grip, and I also alternate between incline bench and flat bench. So today is the flat bench day, and you'll see I have those Fat Gripz on the bar as well. This is something that I think a lot of people sleep on because it's just not something a lot of people talk about for some reason. I don't know. These Fat Gripz are so good. So what they're doing is not only is it making the grip harder on the bench, but it's actually creating a slight cambered bench, so it allows me to get a little bit more depth. This is one of the things that I think brought me all the way to 3 plates. I was always pretty close to 3 plates, but I never quite had a 3-plate bench. This is the thing that I think brought me there, because one, you get used to more depth at the bottom of a really heavy bench, and you get comfortable at that really disadvantaged position. Bench is an exercise where the bottom tends to be the hardest, the second hardest being a few inches off of the top. So I think getting really strong at that range of motion is something that's a really useful skill for the flat bench. So that's why I added those on. Right now I'm doing 3 sets of 8, 8 sets of 3, yeah. And right now I'm using a belt. So for speed work, I actually don't prefer to use belts. I prefer to bench without a belt just in general because I just think it feels better personally. And I think it's really good to be able to brace with your core without using a belt. I don't think it's good to get used to doing things without a belt, so I don't like to use them that much. That being said, the reason I was using it this time is because I was prepping for a powerlifting meet, so I need to be really used to the feeling of really driving into the belt. And that's something that I'm not very good at still. I don't feel like the bench is something that benefits that much from the belt in my experience. I know some people might disagree, but I've never noticed a big jump with the bench. Now, on squat and deadlift, especially squat for some reason, I feel like it really gives me a lot of strength on squat. I think those are better exercises for belts, but the bench, I don't like it that much. That being said, it's just objective that you get more strength off of it, so I'm going to use it in competition. After I'm done with that, I move on to chin-ups. I like to use chin-ups as a staple of my upper body workouts. It's either going to be chin-ups or it's going to be pull-ups. I alternate between those two. And I think a lot of people talk a lot of shit about chin-ups, when chin-ups, I think, are something I actually prefer to do more than pull-ups. And I'm pretty strong at both, but I like chin-ups as a better overall upper body developer, especially for those pulling muscles. I like the bicep involvement. I don't have to do as much volume with curls because my biceps are getting a decent amount of volume. I think you're also hitting the rear delts. A lot of people kind of focus on rear delts, like, oh, you have to hit rear delts. Oh, you need to do additional work. Well, if you're doing enough rowing and certain types of rowing, you're kind of getting enough rear delt development all by itself, so you really don't need to add a ton of extra rear delt work. The chin-ups are really good for that, though, if you're missing some. And there's also some long-headed tricep being involved at the bottom when you actually have to maintain tension to stabilize. That being said, it also works pretty much all of the same muscles that the pull-up does, but you can use more weight. A lot of people think that pull-ups are just objectively better for your lats. They might be a little bit better at stretching the lats, but I think they're very comparable in terms of possible lat development. So I highly recommend chin-ups. They're a staple of my workouts. I do like to alternate between the chin-ups and the pull-ups because I think it's good to be able to pull in both types of grips, both angles, and there are pros and cons to both. After that, I move on to dips. Again, this is another staple. This is something that I credit to most of my bench strength. So there was a period of time where I just did dips instead of bench. I don't like doing the bench that much, I'll be completely honest. I know I'm offending a lot of people, a lot of gym bros that say that, but I just don't like the bench that much. I don't like how it feels. I've always liked calisthenics movements more. So most of my chest development came from dips. Now, there is a bit more of a lower chest emphasis on dips, but don't be fooled by people that think emphasis means that you're not hitting the whole muscle. You are hitting the whole chest. It's just an emphasis. So I think that it's a really good thing, especially if you're doing other chest exercises. One of them can be dips. Dips are great for doing really deep stretches on the chest. You can't really get that deep on a normal bench, so I really like that from dips. And it's also an amazing tricep exercise. Even if you go out wider, you flare your arms out a little bit, which I don't really like to do with the more chest dominant variation of dips. Either way, you're going to really build your triceps because you're supporting your body to be in an upright position a little bit more than a bench. So I really like the dips as a tricep variation and a chest variation. And you're getting really strong shoulders too. So highly recommend dips in your workout program. After that, I moved on to my barbell rows. So these are just bent over rows. I actually tend to prefer pendule rows if you're looking for better overall back development, but right now I'm trying to focus a little bit more on the lats. So I think my lats have been lacking for a long time. And you see that I'm actually really weak on this exercise relative to my other lifts. So even though I have a 5-plate deadlift, I'm doing bent over row to my waist and I'm struggling with 185. So I think this is something I really need to work on, and that's why I'm working on this. The reason I'm standing on a plate, by the way, is because, one, I think it's fixing my form. I think with deadlift and with any row variation, you should be standing very narrow. If you can't stand on a plate, then you're probably standing a little bit too wide. I would say you should stand close because it allows you to hinge your hips much better. After that, I move on to lateral raises. I really like lateral raises for some side delts work. I think side delts are something that don't really get neglected, at least by guys, because I think every guy knows at this point that like side delts are really good for your physique. They can really give you that kind of 3D shoulder pop out look. The bench, especially the flat wide grip bench, does work a tiny bit of the side delt, but I think it's something that is not properly worked by a lot of different types of pressing. So I think a lot of people would benefit from some side delt work, both for aesthetic purposes and for a little bit of strength. Because again, the bench could benefit from a little bit of side delt work. There's a little bit of side delt engagement. So I think that's a really good thing to put into your workout program. And then another part of it is that it's very high stimulus to fatigue ratio. So you're not going to get very fatigued from doing few sets of lat raises, but you're going to get a great stimulus. And honestly, you could probably do these almost every day and you'd be totally fine. I think this is a really solid exercise to add into programs. You should look for exercises that do this kind of thing. So something like curls or certain types of curls will not actually fatigue you that much, but you can do them with super high volume. So I think those are really good. Another one is probably some type of tricep extension. Tricep extensions are exercises you can do pretty much as you want, and you'll never get too fatigued. You're not gonna overreach because you're doing too many tricep extensions usually. So I think those types of exercises are fun to put in your workout. And then at the end of the workout, I do my usual dead hang. I'm just doing a minute for body weight at this point because I'm just exhausted. I think that I need to work on my endurance a little bit because my endurance throughout my workouts has not been great, and you know that can be attributed to a lot of different things. It could be lack of sleep, it could be lack of proper nutrition because I was in a bit of a cutting phase at this point in time, or it could just be a mental toughness thing. And I don't think it's a mental toughness thing because in the past I've been able to push pretty hard, but I do think that I'm getting used to doing shorter workouts. So this more long full workout is something that was actually pretty difficult for me to get through. And that's something I need to work on. That's another reason why I added the rows in. The rows are something that I have to work on. Thanks for watching.